Well, just 24 hours before the government's big ticket rollout on GST, now politics over one nation, one tax has already started intensifying. The Congress leaders will be holding a meeting today to decide whether to attend the GST rollout event on midnight on Friday. In fact, before the big meeting, Congress President Sonia Gandhi will be meeting former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh to discuss the matter. Terming the GST rollout as an epic blunder by the centre, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has made it clear that the TMC would not be attending its rollout programme. Meanwhile, other parties including DMK have decided to skip the event. However, NCP will decide on whether to attend the GST launch event. All this despite Finance Minister Arun Jaitley's appeal to all parties to refrain from indulging in politics over GST. He said that all decisions with regard to the new tax regime were taken unanimously by the GST Council. Well, the whole GST controversy also has taken new twists and turns, with the JDU also looking at parting ways from the Grand Alliance. Now it seems like the JDU again has decided that after it confirmed that the party would participate in the GST launch event, which is scheduled on Friday, will now part ways. In fact, the Bihar cabinet has already given its approval for the implementation of the goods and services tax from July 1st. Now the move comes even as the opposition parties have decided to corner the centre over the GST session. To remind you, parties including TMC and the DMK have already made it clear that they would not be attending this session. However, parties like the Congress, NCP will decide whether to attend the GST launch event today. The JDU and the Grand Alliance has already clashed over and the Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar's support to Ramnath Kovind.
ये उनका वक्तव्य अनफ्रेंडली भी है, अनवांटेड भी है और उनकी गरिमा के भी अनुकूल नहीं है और हम कभी भी उनके नेताओं के बारे में कोई इस तरह की निंदनात्मक या आलोचनात्मक टिप्पणियां नहीं करते हैं। इसलिए गुलाम नबी आज़ाद जैसे गंभीर नेता को इससे परहेज बरतना चाहिए।
SP leader Azam Khan has done it again. Now, when India Today questioned him and cornered him on his anti-army rant, he decided not only to dodge questions but also blame the media. Now, after this, the controversial SP leader insulted the Indian army, alleging that the army is raping women in areas where there's strife, like such as Kashmir, Assam and Jharkhand. Take a look at this report.
हथियारबंद औरतों ने फौज को मारा और लाशों से जो जिस्म का हिस्सा काट कर लेकर गए, वो हिंदुस्तान की एक असल जिंदगी का पर्दा उठाती है।
Azam Khan's shocker. Mulayam's man insults the army, accuses the army of raping women. When India Today confronted Azam, he ducked, dodged and remained defiant.
मैं कहता हूं मैं हिंदुस्तान का सबसे अच्छा इंसान हूं। नहीं, मैंने नहीं पकड़ाया, मेरी बात को गलत रंग दिया गया।
The Azam Khan drama did not stop here. When we confronted him with another tough question, he cried foul and left the interview in a huff.
मैं ऐसा इंसान हुई नहीं। मैं कहता हूं मैं हिंदुस्तान का सबसे अच्छा इंसान हूं। नहीं, मैंने नहीं पकड़ाया, मेरी बात को गलत रंग दिया गया। मैं बच्चे पढ़ाता हूं, मैं बच्चियां पढ़ाता हूं।
And Azam is not the only one to insult our braves. Earlier, Congress leader Sandeep Dixit and the CPM's Mohammad Salim had indulged in army bashing. Daughters that our martyrs leave behind. Perhaps the anguish of their wives and mothers doesn't touch their hearts. Perhaps India needs a legal route to deal with motor-mouth netas. Citizens are arrested for Facebook posts, articles questioning the government, or simply raising pro-Pakistan slogans. Then why are politicians exempt? How long can they remain above the law? With Balkrishna and Anjana Om Kashyap, Bureau Report, India Today.
Delhi government bites the bullet on Air India. Now the Union Cabinet has given approval for the disinvestment in Air India. Now the Finance Minister Arun Jaitley announced this to the media and told everybody about the Cabinet's decision. Now he said the Cabinet has set up a committee under his charge to work out how the decision would be implemented. This committee would decide how much of the central government's share would be disinvested and how this should be done, and also if the airline's real estate should be a part of the deal. Remember, India Today was the first channel to break it a couple of weeks ago when the government was all set to privatize the Maharaja.
एयर इंडिया की डिसइन्वेस्टमेंट को सैद्धांतिक रूप से स्वीकृति दी गई, इन प्रिंसिपल अप्रूवल। और सिविल एविएशन मंत्रालय की जो प्रस्तावना थी कि फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर की अध्यक्षता में एक ग्रुप बने जो इसकी बाकी सारी मोडालिटीज को तय करे, उसको स्वीकार किया गया। कितना डिसइन्वेस्ट होगा, किस प्रक्रिया के माध्यम से होगा, उसके एसेट्स के संबंध में, उसके डेट के संबंध में, होटल कंपनीज के संबंध में, ये सारी जो प्रक्रिया और निर्णय हैं, ये अब ग्रुप लेगा।
Chief of the Army Staff General Bipin Rawat is visiting Sikkim today. Now there is a rising tension with China, and Beijing has stopped the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra through the Natula route. Now they have claimed that these are security concerns along this area. Now China claims that the Indian Army has forcibly stopped a road construction on what China claims is to be their territory.
No, Ravedi, I'm telling you again, this is not the way. Please, don't use force.
There is tension along the India-China border. Though Indian and Chinese troops have faced off regularly along the LAC, this time things escalated to the extent that China stopped the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra through the Natula route in Sikkim. India has refused to buckle under the Chinese pressure or given to the Chinese blackmail. China has accused the Indian Army of forcibly stopping a road construction project on what China claims is its sovereign territory. The Chinese Foreign Ministry has been quoted as saying, "The road was being constructed on Chinese territory. The territory does not belong to either India or Bhutan. The border is settled and has been a part of China since 1890. Experts say China is rattled by India's status as a regional superpower. India, US and Japan will carry out the biggest ever joint naval exercise in the Indian Ocean region. And the announcement was made by the US President Donald Trump.
Our militaries are working every day to enhance cooperation between our military forces, and next month they will join together with the Japanese Navy to take part in the largest maritime exercise ever conducted in the vast Indian Ocean."
China has tried to bully India even in the past. Even as their heads of state were visiting India, Chinese troops would carry out an incursion into Indian territory. In 2014, when Chinese President Xi Jinping came visiting to Ahmedabad at the invitation of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Chinese troops carried out an incursion. In 2013, when Chinese Premier Li Keqiang held a summit-level meeting with the then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, Chinese troops came 19 kilometers inside Depsang. China is once again back to its blackmail tactics, pushing the envelope, seeing how much India can be made to bend. This time, sources say, there is a pushback, and China is not just surprised but even rattled. Bureau Report, India Today.
Well, Indrani Mukherjee has made some damning allegations when she was produced in court, and she was booked for inciting riots in Baikla jail, but she has told court that she was a witness to a murder. Take a look at the story.
Former media tycoon Indrani Mukherjee breaking down as cops escorted her to the JJ hospital for a medical test.
इंद्राणी, इंद्राणी आपको कुछ कहना है?
2 years after she was jailed for murdering her daughter, Sheena Bora, Indrani back in the limelight. Cameras following her as Indrani stepped out of Mumbai's Baikula prison to testify against none other than jail officials.
It all started on June 23 when an inmate, Manjula Shetty, protested against the food item disappearing from the jail. Mumbai police filed an FIR a day later which revealed shocking details. It says that Manjula was stripped naked, tortured by jail official, and a lathi was inserted inside her private parts.
मेरी बहन ने जो वार्डन थी उन्होंने बताया कि कैदियों को 100 कैदियों को कम पड़ रहा है खाना, इसके वजह से उन्होंने उसके ऊपर गुस्सा रख के बहुत मारा। जहाँ पे सीसीटीवी कैमरा भी नहीं था ऐसी जगह पे लेके गए, बहुत मारा, ब्रेन के ऊपर मारा, लंग के ऊपर डैमेज हुआ। हमारा कहना इतना ही है कि उसको सस्पेंड करना या अटक करना उतना ही है नहीं, उनको फांसी होनी चाहिए।
Indrani told the Mumbai court that she witnessed jail inmate Manjula's murder. Manjula was dragged by the neck, and when Indrani dared to protest, even she was assaulted by male officials. The judge ordered the police to record Indrani's statement after her medical test. As Indrani reached the hospital for her medical test, we saw her asking cops not to touch her and told doctors too that she was in acute pain.
इंद्राणी, इंद्राणी आपको कुछ कहना है?
Indrani was booked for rioting on June 26 after a scuffle broke out in the Baikula prison, when inmates led by Indrani protested against inmate Manjula's death in custody. From her glamorous past to her grey-haired avatar, and now an attempted transformation to becoming the leader of protesting inmates. Is Indrani Mukherjee turning inmate Manjula Shetty's death into an opportunity to play the victim card? With Saurabh Bakhtania and Pankaj Khelkar in Mumbai, Bureau Report, India Today.
Bangalore, which has earned the title of being called the pub capital of the country, is all set to lose its mojo again. Now with the Supreme Court decision that liquor shops around 500 meters from highways need to be shut down, nearly 300 pubs in the central business district itself will be facing closure. Now the closure notices have already been issued by the civic authorities saying that after June 30th they will not be able to sell any alcohol. But this situation is such a tricky situation now because a large amount of money, especially for the state coffers, comes from the excise department. We are also given to understand that the state government has written to the National Highways Association of India asking them to denotify areas in the city and call them city roads rather than highways so that they could actually save these pubs. Take a look at this report.
There is hardly a pub hopper who is unfamiliar with the MG Road, Church Street or Brigade Road in Bengaluru. But the next time they step out for a tipple, they're in for a shock if they are headed for watering holes in this fashionable part of Bengaluru. Come June 30th midnight, close to 300 pubs and at least 19 hotels located around this area will stop selling alcohol. Bengalurians are aghast, disappointed and sad.
If you stop alcohol here, it will be really difficult for the people and also for the restaurants because they thrive on alcohol, being the party capital or like where people come here to chill, drink, have fun with their friends. I don't think it is applicable to MG Road as such.
So why did this happen? Well, it's a late reaction to the Supreme Court ban on alcohol being sold 500 meters from a national highway. Yes, difficult to believe, but it turns out these party zones in Bengaluru fall within that category. Slapped with a notice from the excise department, pub owners are perplexed.
India's pub capital Bangalore may lose its mojo again, and this time again because there are restrictions being put especially on areas that will be selling liquor according to the Supreme Court directive, that within 500 meters of a national highway, liquor cannot be served, and that means nearly 300 pubs in Bangalore CBD, Central Business District itself, will be affected.
We know that the government and the excise department have taken a lot of steps in the recent days, though better late than never, to try and get us running. So I think it's a matter of time before it's denotified.
But all hope is not lost for both the pub hound and the pub owner. The Public Works Department has sent a recommendation stating all roads within city limits are not necessarily highways. It has favoured denotification of 77 kilometres of national highways cutting through the city.
Already we have passed the cabinet decision requesting the centre to denotify all the cities corporation from the national highway. That's why, because of Supreme Court order is there, no national highway, there should not be pubs and the bars are not allowed.
Chief Minister Siddaramaiah made it clear that the government will abide by the Supreme Court order.
We have to act in accordance with the judgment of the Supreme Court.
For now, the order stays, and the pubs will run dry come midnight, June 30th. With Rohini Swami in Bangalore, Bureau Report, India Today.
Now we're getting in some breaking news. There has been a ceasefire violation in the Sabjiya sector in Poonch, and the Indian Army has given a befitting reply. There has been another ceasefire violation also that we have seen in the Bhimber sector, and this ceasefire again violation has taken place by Pakistan. We have seen a series of such kind of ceasefire violations taking place in the last few weeks, but this particular time and the previous times also we've seen how the Indian Army has been able to give a befitting reply to these violations. Well, we will bring you up to speed and updates on these details on the ceasefire violations that have taken place in the Poonch sector.